Everyone falls in love with the purchase price, but the inspection tells the truth. In this video, I'll show you exactly how I evaluate inspection reports like an investor. We'll go through the Columbus property and the Newnan property, and by the end, you'll see how I decide whether to buy, renegotiate, or walk. So quick heads up, this video is not the full deal breakdown. This video is strictly for the inspection report, evaluation, and decision. The next video is where I break down the full numbers, financing, and the real deal structure. Every property goes through the same framework. Number 1, title and legal. Can I even own or close it cleanly? Number 2, systems. Roof, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, foundation. Number 3, safety. Anything that fails inspection or insurance. Number 4, budget and timeline. What's fixable in 60 days versus 60 months? Number 5, exit strategy. Flip, BRRRR, or rental cash flow. Number 1, roof and exterior. The findings were damage and missing shingles, patch areas, active roof leaks, and soft decking near eaves. The cost would have been $6,500 to $9,000. Water penetration already affected ceilings and framings. That would require sheathing replacement, not just shingles. Number 2, foundation and crawl space. So the findings there were standing water, dry stack piers, shifting, fungal growth, joists, insulation falling. The cost would have been between $8,000 to $10K based on this area. The vapor barrier, piers reset, fungus treatment would have probably resolved it. But this indicates a chronic drainage issues and foundation repair before any flooring or drywall. Number 3, plumbing. There was leaking supply lines under the kitchen and bath. Evidence of water heater damage. Old galvanized pipes. That could run you between $2,500 to $4,500, if not higher in this area. And a partial repipe and a new water heater probably would have resolved most of it, but you still would have needed mold remediation. So combine this with crawl space moisture, that equals potential mold and long-term insurance problems. Number 4, electrical. So there were double tap breakers, missing GFCIs, ungrounded outlets in the kitchen and bathrooms, corrosion at the panel. This could cost you anywhere from $2 to $10 grand. So you would need possibly a panel tune-up or replacement and GFCI updates, along with a few other items. So this is overall unsafe for rental certification without updates and immediate insurance bill. Number 5, HVAC. So there were non-functional units or window units only. The inspector couldn't really verify the operation. Ductwork mold was very visible. This could run you anywhere between $6,000 to $7,000. So a new split system and duct cleaning could resolve this issue. But this adds complexity. You would need both electrical and crawl space work done first. Number 6, interior and cosmetic. There were water damaged floors, missing drywall, interior paint bubbling, damaged siding, along with New cabinetry is much needed there. It would cost you anywhere between $8,000 to $15,000 for a full interior refresh. Cosmetic layers hide bigger mechanical issues, not worth addressing until the structure is fixed. So the total estimated rehab budget for this project would have been anywhere between $33,000 to $90,000, and that's just on the front structure. Also, it had an unresolved probate title issue, which equals a huge legal risk. So the verdict was high risk, long hold, uncertain exit. We're definitely gonna walk away. Newnan property, the one I bought. So the roof, shingles wear with age and patch ridge, minor flashing gaps. It was really in good shape. So we actually didn't have to replace that. However, if we were going to replace the roof, it could run you anywhere between $6,000 to $7,500. So we haven't had any active leaks as yet, and we did do some minor patching, but we'll get into that later. Number 2, HVAC. The findings were outdated condenser, or actually a non-present condenser. The unit was non-responsive. We had ductwork present and it was functional. However, we had to make some changes to that as well. So a routine system swap is a predictable cost, and that could cost anywhere between $5,000 to $13,000, if not more. Number 3, electrical. So the old breaker panel was missing along with some wiring and GFCIs. So in this case, I would highly recommend a full rewire, which could cost you anywhere from $5,000 to $30,000, if not more. And I would say this should be the standard if you see those issues present. Number 4, plumbing. So the findings were slow drains, corroded P-traps, missing PEC lines, cut PEC lines, missing plumbing overall, and missing showers, missing everything for plumbing. So yes, in this case, you would need the full works for plumbing, full repiping, and yeah. So that's kind of typical for older rental units, and not really typical for rehabs per se, but in my case, that's not a fix a few things situation. That's rebuilding the core of the house. Columbus, the deal I walked from. So the inspection showed multiple system failures and unresolved probate, making it a high-risk rehab. Structurally, the home had active moisture damage, electrical safety issues, and foundational instability. I need you to understand, moisture damage is really just drywall. Moisture means you're chasing a source, drying it out, potentially replacing materials behind the walls or under the floors, and sometimes dealing with that, majority of the times, include mold conditions. So if I see moisture in the ceiling and flooring, I assume the budget can expand quite quickly. Second, electrical red flags. The report mentions ungrounded outlets, and there were issues around access and visibility for key electrical components. Electrical is one of those categories where you don't know if a small fix or you need a full upgrade until a licensed electrician actually opens it up. And I do not gamble on electrical surprises, because those are the exact surprises that destroy timelines and rehab budgets. Third, structure and crawl space risks. This is where deals die. Things like ventilation and barrier issues, foundation and support concerns, and signs that point to potential ongoing problems. When a property has water problems plus crawl space problems, it stops being a normal rehab and it starts turning into an investigation. Danger. When your rehab becomes an investigation, your money becomes a donation. So by the time I finished the Columbus report, The issues wasn't, can I fix it? The issue was how many hidden problems will show up once I start. Talk about Newnan. The inspection revealed manageable repairs with no structural failure, issues limited to system age and moisture prevention. The bathrooms and kitchen weren't functional or wasn't even present, to be honest, just had the shell. The plumbing lines were cut, the toilet was broken or missing in some places, and it needed a full rebuild, not touch-ups. Once I dug deeper, the deal had clarity. The inspection didn't scare me. It gave me a checklist and a roadmap. I knew exactly what had to be rebuilt: plumbing runs, sink, shower, tubs, fixtures, few drywall, knock out this, knock out that, and replacement, a lot of updates. Another key difference that stood out with Newnan was that I didn't have to do this on 2 properties. I just had to do it on 1. See, the Columbus property, it had a rear house that needed equal, if not more, repairs. I always use inspection reports as negotiation leverage. Roof, foundation, and HVAC are non-negotiable. So if the seller can't address them with a credit reduction or proof of work, I walk. Simple. So here's the verdict. I walked the Columbus property, but I bought the Newnan property. 2 properties, same process. The inspection decided for me. Never get personal. That turned out to be very profitable. We'll get into that in the next video. If you want my inspection to scope checklist, comment report. Subscribe. Next video is the full deal breakdown and the next step update. See you in the next one.